Hey guys, welcome to the channel, Sunny here, and we're back with another gear guide. So this one here is going to take you from season to end game. We're going to end at this gear right here and take all the steps along the way. Quick note about it, this is going to be an updated series, so if you are looking for the newest one, it's going to have new or updated in the title. If this is this video, then this is the one you're looking for, and it will still be applicable no matter when you're watching it, as long as that is in the title. So let's get to it. First things first, there's a couple of notes throughout this that you need to keep in mind and make this decision along the way. So the first thing is, of course, going to be journals. Journals is something I will slightly cover throughout the video, but in general, my take on journals is, as a new player, do them whenever you feel like doing them. If you're missing like an AP or something like that, or maybe 2 APs for a bracket, and the next upgrade is a bit costly, then maybe start doing some time on the journals, invest some more resources and time into that. Get them done, they are super worth it. They have been made a lot easier, but it is time consuming, and don't stress them early on. There's nothing worse than wanting to play the game and then feel like you're forced to go and do these journals and missions and all that. So just fit them in whenever you feel like doing it. The second one is of course going to be slight variations on the builds here. For example, I'm going to be suggesting Ted Blackstar. We'll cover that in a bit, but you could totally go with our Pin Kudum for your offhand instead of the Ted Blackstar, and then upgrading that with Kafras along the way. It's totally fine as well. There's no like right or wrong. This build here is going to be one of the most cost efficient, stat efficient way you can get to endgame. But don't be afraid of making variations along the way if it suits where you are right now and what you need instead. As always, all the stuff will be linked down in the description. There will be a link to this planner as well, so you can save it and make adjustments on your own Garmoth. We're using Garmoth.com, awesome homepage, get familiar with it. And crystals, I will also be covering a bit. There will be a link to Abyss Crystals setup, but I have some budgets in here as well. And of course the Abyss crystals, and when you should be prioritizing that, and we'll even cover a bit of lightstones. So let's get to it. This right here is the expected gear coming right out of season. You will be able to choose Pin Composure at the end of season. You can then make a new season character. You should have tickets for it. Get it to level 10. You don't have to do anything else. Get it to level 10, and then you can complete the season reward. You don't have to graduate. But you can, with a level 10 season character, get your second Pin Composure. After that, you'll be able to get 2 more Pin Composure with these Harmony upgrade stones. You'll be able to get some on the challenge, the white tab, and then you can also get enough by turning in the weekly fish you can get on season when you're fishing overnight, which you should be doing. So that way you can actually get 4 Pin Composure right out of season. For artifacts, this is a PvE progression focused, and also you might want to get some PvP stuff in there along the way, like a maneuver. But for this, you're looking to get monster AP artifacts, and for your Lightstone combo, I would recommend just getting 4 Rage in there. It's going to give you a total of 17 AP. And it's super cheap. They're available on the marketplace, min priced 5 million each, and it's a really, really good bonus effect. And this is something you then want to upgrade into the better and the best lightstones over time. But this here is insanely cost efficient, and you can get one that gives you 18 monster AP, but it's always nice having that like just regular AP. It's 1 AP difference, and now this will also work if somebody jumps you if you're out grinding on Asha or something like that. Also, I have some notes up here, as you can see on all of them, more or less. The season ends right now. If you have the J-Hammers on your white tab, it's probably the best idea to just sell it. If you're at this stage here, if you're still very early on, put it on the marketplace. If it sells, it sells. It's going to give you a huge boost of money. The only good use of the J-Hammer positions is to go for pin debos. Nothing else is worth using them for. So that means that if you're so far away that you won't be able to do that, then the best use is selling them. Now, if you are currently watching this video and you're way further down the gearing, and you might be going for a Pin Dibble soon, sure, you can keep it and tap for that. Next up, you're coming off season now. And there is succession and awakening difference here. And of course, throughout the build, you should be sticking with that and then upgrading the weapons accordingly. But if you're going to be a succession build, if you're preferring succession on your class, you should get the Pin Blackstar main hand of the Y reward. And I would actually go out and then buy a dual Godite Awakening weapon, and then select my Tit Blackstar offhand for the Y tab free reward. And of course, if you're Awakening, it's all the way around. Buy a dual Godite main hand and a Pin Blackstar Awakening. Next up is this item here. It's the Aegis Power Stone. It's a quest line in the game in the Ulukita region. It's super easy. You don't have to kill mobs. You can do this, and that's going to give you a 1 AP alchemy stone that you can use. It's always nice getting that +1 sheet AP. Very easy to get. Next up is the gloves. Pin gloves, you get this by doing the Magnus questline, which you should be doing at this point here. It's a huge upgrade getting your first pin boss armor. So after doing this, you're settling in a bit. The first thing to probably spend money on or buy would be buying a pair of pin Oregons. Super good value. It's going to give you a huge DR boost and make you way tankier in PvE compared to the Muskin versions Chihuahua boots. Currently, it is worth making 2-pin armors using the guaranteed upgrade Chinchina. So I would recommend you start working on those nice and slow. Upgrade them all the way up to pin. I have them just here at reform level 4 to indicate that you should be going for the Chinchina version on these. Also, you should be start working on your Chinchina Crescent ring. Quick note about the guaranteed pin accessory from Chinchina. My advice at the moment is only make one. Now, this might change in the future if there's some new use for them going forward. But as of right now, you might want to get 2 pin crescents. But the progression in this game is so fast at this kind of gearing that you're going to have one of those being a dead item. Having one of them, be the Chinchina, you can make that over into a Narc earring, which will be useful later on. But having the second one eventually is just going to get sold or sit and being dead if it's Chinchina because you cannot sell it. So it's actually better, in my opinion, to buy a regular pin crescent. It's only slightly more expensive, a few more bill more expensive than making one, but you get to sell it later on and get most of that silver back. So it's, in my opinion, just a way better long-term investment than making 2 Chinchinas. So for the build here, it's only 1 Chinchina crescent all the way through. Also, a quick note here on the choice of your pin Blackstar. If you're unsure if you're going to be playing Succession or Awakening, or maybe you like both, you're still playing around with classes, my advice would be to just select the pin Blackstar main hand. Even if you then, unfortunately, end up choosing Awakening down the line, it's the more safe option. The pin Blackstar Awakening is easily the best one if you're playing Awakening, but if you're playing both or you're unsure, then it's better to have a pin Blackstar main hand and be Awakening than it is to have a pin Blackstar Awakening and be Succession. So it's just a slightly more safe bet if you're unsure about what direction and what class you want to play in the long run. The next step is this one here. And at this point, you should be getting your full pin boss armors, get them cafe level 4. And with the gearing you're at, you could easily and can easily grind Elvia Realm. And it's super good money. And it allows you to also then work on your enchants, which are going to be something that you will really need. Enchants you can also extract. It costs around 1 billion silver, 1.2 billion to extract them, but it costs 5 billion to buy. So it's still something that's worth using on good accessories early on, and then extracting them later when you get that better upgrade down the road. So for here, I will be going out, getting my armors in order, make my first pin Chinchina Crescent, and work on my enchants here. Now, quick note for the belt enchant. If you do PvP at this point, if you're focused on PvP and you like it, it is just better. But if you know you're just focusing fully on grinding, fully on PvE, the yellow enchant is probably what you want on the build. It's 3 AP. The 6 DR is definitely stronger for PvP, but PvE, you don't really need it. Next up is a recommendation from me. At this point here, when you're out grinding and this, it's like, a lot of grinding going on now. Now really get into the meat of the grind. Start looking to the future preparation as well. So I have a quick note here about 3 things I really think you need to start doing at this point here. 1, if you can, look for a guild to join or merc into as a mercenary. 3 times is all it takes. There's a quest you can do for killing kill Khan, which is a boss in the ocean that a guild can spawn. If you kill it 3 times, you get a guaranteed Khan's heart, which is basically the 8 of stone, but with 1 more AP. So it's guaranteed, it's free, but it does require you to be in a guild or merc into a guild that does this and then join them on their weekly kills. Definitely worth looking into. So I put that note in there as well. Second up is start putting alts out of some world bosses, specifically Nuver, Garmoth, Karanda, and Kudum. For Nuver, you're gonna need 400 skills down the road to make the guaranteed Garmoth heart, which is a huge upgrade later on. I also have it in here as well. So you really want to get that. You start putting the alts out there. You're also looking at a Karanda heart and a Kudum heart. And of course, do Garmoth for potential Garmoth. On that note, I should mention real quick that coming off season, one of the best investments you can do right out the gate is getting a Karanda heart. If you haven't already gotten one, or if you're not doing it, it's like 500 mil and it gives you a full crystal slot. So 500 million silver for crystal, that could be 5 AP. There's no way, even at this gear here, you can get 5 AP for 500 million. For comparison, a belt enchant or earring enchant is 3 AP, but it costs 5 billion silver. So the value on getting that 1 extra crystal slot is insanely valuable on the Stormy. So make sure you get that right away, you will benefit from it. Your next upgrades now are going to be a Tet Disto and getting all your armor pieces to C6. This Tet Disto is very good value. Now you get that enchant on it and you can make some very, very big and substantial AP gains here. Also at this point here, as I say on the note here, you really should be investing into better crystals. Crystals give huge amount of stats for relatively low silver compared to gear upgrades at these points here. So don't neglect your buffs and don't neglect your crystals. It's a very well investment for the stats you're gaining. Okay, now we are a bit further. The big investment here is going to be a second Tet Disto and then Kabua artifacts. Kabua artifacts are probably the best defensive PvE stats for your silver. Actually way better than upgrading your armors at this point here. So getting 2 Kabuas from the marketplace, getting the Fallen, 3 times Fallen for the Camisylvian damage Lightstone combo, and your second Disto, you're gonna be able to power through and breeze through Gyfin spots right now. This is where you start getting into those late game spots and make really, really good silver. So it's a big investment here, but they're well worth it. Also at this stage here, trying to get a Garmoth upgrade for your Awakening weapon becomes a priority. That AP increase there is going to be the best bang for a buck at this point here. Now that you're making some really good silver, don't be afraid to mix it up between some different places. If you get tired of Gyfin, Jade Force is a great alternative. You can use your acres there for really good value, and it also provides you with some embers and potentially the flame to then later make a Nebraska helmet. So definitely recommend looking into that. Maybe even some regular chores if you have a friend that want to grind that as well. Don't be afraid to mix it up and try out some other spots in your AP range. In terms of gearing, at this stage here, I would be investing into a second pin crescent. This one here, I would be buying off the marketplace. I would also be working on my armors up to C9. And this jump here, I know is a huge jump, but you should be doing this in the order you want to. Right now, you have very, very good DP, right? You start working on your Fallen Guard armors. Get them to Pry, maybe do if you can afford it, but definitely get them to Pry. And a Vel's Heart is also something that should be prioritized at this point here. Really, really good AP upgrades. And depending on the situation, make sure you sort out your journals as well, right? You can go for a trunk belt here. If you're running the Kudum, you could go for a C7 and then a trunk belt, get that 2 AP if you're a 3 or 5 main hand. There's a couple of options here and some wiggle room, but in general, you're looking to get that DP up. Your AP is looking really strong. Get that well hard as well. And at this stage here, we're also at the point where we can go in and work on big in-game grind spots. So with this gear here, now you're going to be able to unlock places like Crypt and Ash Forest, the new Crescent where you can get Debo rings, and Trolls as well. Like all of these places are going to be dropping Debos, seals for Debos, and really high silver. They do require a bit more gear, but we're at the stage now. Make sure you get your buffs in order. Harmony, drafts, and everything is definitely a must at this point. And fix the Lightstone combos. You want a Demi-Human Lightstone set, and you want a Karma damage set. If you can, you will also want to get an all-out attack or watch your back Lightstone set for the non-species spots. And now we're getting into the real in-game building. We are going to be start working on the Debos now. They are just so good bang for your bucks. You should buy your Chet Debos. They are so cheap, they are not worth enhancing. Pretty much nothing is worth enhancing right now. For example, a pin Blackstar, which will come later. If you were to enhance it with Crunchstones yourself, currently, as of right now, if you go average on a 240 stack, it will cost you 160 billion silver to make one on average. And you can buy one for 80 billion. So in other words, it will cost you the same as buying two if you try to make it. The profit margins are just not there. The values is not there. But again, since you're a gambling addict like the rest of us and you're probably gonna tag, then going out here and grinding the Debos and tapping them, it is what it is. If you get a lot of rings while grinding here for a Tet and Egg, you could go for a Tet ring instead of the earring. As you can see, Crescents is out as well, so you can grind for Crescents. So you could switch it up and go for double Disto here and then get a Tet Debo ring. Perfectly fine. It just depends on where you are. You're not going to miss any brackets, right? By going for the earring, and it is a lot cheaper than the ring. Also, now that you have your 3 Tet Debos, you can grind pretty much all the spots currently in the game. You can head off to one of my favorite areas, Ulukita. This is where I would definitely say start working the boots. Most likely the flames are still not available to buy on the marketplace. You could put bits in along the way, which is a good idea. But you definitely want to be finishing off your boots now. As you can see here, boots are in. That's the next big upgrade. DSR, it's great. You really need to get all out attack or watch your back for those places. That 24 AP is invaluable. And we're getting towards the big steps here. After this, you are looking for a 5 Debo setup, and you're looking to finish off your pin Blackstar weapon. Even if sovereign weapons are out when you're watching this, then you still want to get to this stage. The 5 Tet Debos are better value AP per silver than even getting a sovereign weapon. So definitely prioritize getting to this step here before you start looking at those sovereign weapons. I know they look great. I know it's a new biz item, but this right here is just a higher value. However, after that, also depending when you're watching this video, if there's a long time till we get sovereign weapons, I would start working on tri-armors and then a pin offhand. Depending on how close you are, you might actually, as I say here as well, you might hold back on this and start getting your spare pin Blackstar weapons. So we are ready for it. Also, a pin Debo necklace is great value here. They're getting really cheap as well in the marketplace, so you don't even have to hammer away. You don't have to worry about the hammers disappearing for a while at least as well. So this right here is definitely like the in-game build right now while we're waiting for the sovereign weapons and new items. If you're already at this stage here, sure, you could be going for the Debos. Personally, I got my belt and my earring. I don't have my 2-pin rings right now. I'm saving all my Crunchstones and resources ready for the sovereign weapons, because if you have this gear here, sovereign weapons are the best value. So if I'm here, I would be working on getting my double pin black star, so I'm ready for summon weapons, and then saving up resources and work on these new artifacts and crystals coming out very soon. A quick note on crystals. I will leave this in the description as well. I've made a budget setup here, and it is super cheap. This is something you should probably invest into already on season. You can use this. You don't have to worry about dying and losing a massive amount of silver if your crystal breaks. But you do want to, over time, look at upgrading these in towards the BIS setup. The video will be linked as well. But you are looking at something like this, and then of course with the Garmoth and the Stormy weapon to unlock the other crystal slots. This is towards the in-game area, and this is also a hugely good value. As you can see, it's a lot of silver, but if you compare this to an item upgrade, this is peanuts and you're getting so much more stats. Don't sleep on crystals, they're huge. Guys, I hope you found this useful and helpful. If there's any question, don't forget, you can always drop by the stream at twitch.tv/bprimegaming or drop a comment. I'll do my best to answer any questions. This is something that we've been working on for a while here, and I'll do my best to keep this updated faster in the future compared to the other gear guides we've been making. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you all in the next one.